Hello mathematics learners, my name is Ayanat and today I'm going to be your teacher for this lesson. Welcome to my math presentation with teacher Ayanat Amanova. So the agenda of today's lesson is linear system, unit 1, classifying figures on coordinate grid, unit 2, and expanding quadratic expressions, unit 3. For this lesson, I'm going to explain you the topics, the goals, the way we solve the problems, and we are also going to go through some interesting examples and explanations. So let's start with the introduction. On this lesson, I'm going to explain you the three topics of first, second, and third units by explaining the goal, solving examples, learning goals, and testing your knowledge at the end of the lesson. So make sure you spend maximum of your energy on that. So this was the introduction. Now, let's talk a little bit. So, as I mentioned before, my name is Ayanat, and I'm going to be your best teacher for today. I'm 15 years old. I'm professor of math, of course. I'm the best teacher in the world, and I'm the best explainer. Okay, so let's go on to the first topic. It's called linear systems, and it's from the first unit. Firstly, I want to talk about the method. For this topic, we use a method called substitution strategy. And the goal of this method is that a variable expression in one expression is replaced with an equivalent expression from another expression when the value of the variable is the same in both. Oof! We used the word expression a lot in this one. Okay, so now let's go to the explanation part. It's quite simple. I think you will understand it from a minute of my explanations. So let's assume we have equations 1 and 2. So here you can see ax plus by equal to f. This is the first equation, and the second one is dx plus gy is equal to q. So the main points that I want to mention is that in both equations we have xy. The other letters are just the examples in case to not use real numbers. So this is what is given us. So the first step is that we change the first equation here. So as you can see, I move the ax to the side of f, and after that I've got the meaning of y. The second step is that I take the value of y and substitute the meaning of y that we have just found. Finally, after I solve this equation, I find the meaning of x, and that's how we solve each problem. So now I want to give you some interesting examples to understand the topic better. It was my idea. I guess you will like it, and it will be more comfortable and understandable for you to understand the topic by this example. So let's assume we have 4 houses. You can see they are totally identical. They have the green top and the pink building. Now we decide to change the color of one of them. So we paint it, and we paint it brown. After that, I decide to replace the brown house with the places with the middle pink one. So we take it off. And now we have our brown house in the middle between the two pink houses, and we now don't have the pink house that was in the middle before. So basically that is how this method works in simple words, and I guess it was kind of understandable for you. Okay, so now we are going to start solving the linear systems for these problems, and we are going to use the substitution strategy as I mentioned before. So let's go on to the first example. Here you can see the given. So let's read it. Decide which variable is isolated in one of the equations in each system. Then substitute for this variable in the other equation and solve the system. So you can see one example. Okay, so let's try to solve it together. So first of all, we are going to kind of work on this equation to find what the y value is equal to. For that, we moved 5x and then contracted by 2 to get rid of this 2. So that's how we get our value y, which is equal to 3. Now, after we find the value of 3, we substitute it instead of the y in the second equation, and that's how we find our x, which is equal to minus 4. And the answer is minus 4 for x and 3 for y. We can also check that from our graph. If you want to do it, you can check it. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the second example. It's absolutely the same as the first one, but with the different numbers. So for that, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now let's discuss the answers and reveal them. So here you can see the total solution of this problem. Okay, so let's discuss the answers. To find the x and the y, we are using the same method we were using before. So firstly, we try to find the x. We substitute some values, and after we have 35x equal to 70, we find the x, which is equal to 2. After we find that x is equal to 2, we substitute this value instead of the x, which is in the second equation, and that's how we get the answer. And the answer is 0. And talking about the final answer, the x is 2 and the y is equal to 0. Now we are going to move on to the second unit. The topics that we're going to discuss is classifying figures on a coordinate grid. And we are going to discuss Canadian coordinate system or American coordinate system. Method we use is about plotting the given verticals and connect the lines to draw the figure. First of all, let's talk how we classify triangles and the forms. In common, there are 4 main types of triangles: scalene, with no sides equal; isosceles, with 2 sides equal; equilateral, all sides equal; and right, 2 sides are perpendicular. Now let's just discuss the idea. So the idea of the method that we are going to discuss is a graph by using the coordinates. Or to be more specific, finding the length of each side from the graph by using the coordinates. So here you can see the formulas that we use. Okay, so now let's go through some examples. This is an example where we are required to use the formula that we have learned before. So now I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to think. You can pause the video in case you need more time for that. Okay, so let's discuss the solution. You can see that it substituted the coordinates of a triangle into B and C. And they found out that the length of AB is 4.412. The length of the BC is 4.1, and finally the AC length is 5.8. So basically we just take the X values and the Y values from each letter A and B, and we just subtract them from each other. So here in the first one, we took the values of B and A. So firstly, we write the value of B, and we subtracted from the X value of A, and we do the same thing with Y. After we find the answer, and we do exactly the same things with the BC and the next one. Now let's move on to the last topic. It's called expanding quadratic expression, and there is nothing you have to worry about because it is the simplest topic you have ever seen. So what I want to say is that there is absolutely nothing to worry about, and the main rule of this topic, you need to expand and multiply the values. Okay, so first let's go through some explanations in case to fully understand the topic. Here you can see the rules. So A plus B brackets squared is equal to, so we just open this value and we get A plus B. This is equal to A squared plus 2AB plus B2. So this is how we open the formula basically. We do the same thing with the second one, but we also keep the minus, and we have minus in the first brackets and in the first minus. So basically I was just refilling the formula. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 examples and they're going to be super easy. So the first example is x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 5 in brackets. So how are we going to solve this? Let's think a little bit. Okay, I guess we have some ideas. So firstly, we're going to multiply the brackets. So as I mentioned before, we're going to open them and we get x squared plus 5x plus 2x and plus 10. After that, we reduce it and get the answer. So we reduce the values of 5x and 2x and we get 7x instead. And as the answer, we get x squared plus 7x plus 10, which is the right answer, of course. So it's not so hard actually. Let's go to the second example. So you can read it at first. Now let's go to the explanation part. So as the one before, firstly we multiply the brackets and we get x squared minus 3x plus 2x minus 6. And after that, we again reduce it and get the answer, which is going to be x squared plus x minus 6. So that was quite easy. Now I'm going to give you a practice example to test yourself. You have 20 seconds to think, and you gotta pause the video for that. Okay, thank you. I wish you enjoyed this lesson. You can write your answer for the last problem in the comments. I wish you liked my teaching process. It was really fun. Thank you for your attention.